All right, welcome back to Simply Trade Tips with Renee Chiuchiarelli and my buddy Julie Parks, better known as Hammer and Heels. How you doing today, Jules?
I'm great. How are you doing, Renee?
Just wonderful.
Good.
So, as always, we're going to leave you with an FIO, figure it out, or call to action, and hope we're going to get this done in less than 10, I hope. Now, this is going to be an interesting episode. You can see we've been still wearing our jerseys. It's our third episode, pitcher catcher. So, what are we going to talk about today, Julie, with our jerseys
Yeah.
on?
Yeah, so you laid that out well. We talked about how to have a difficult conversation if you're pitching and how to have a difficult discussion if you're on the receiving end. We think this time, how about we put this together, Renee, and we talk about and we walk through a difficult discussion. But I need help with a good topic. What do you think we should cover?
I would say one of the main topics that people probably would like to review would be, hey, how do I get a raise? That might
Mm-hmm.
be, there's so
It's a good
many
one.
because yeah, but like you and I said when we were, brainstorming, I mean, you could have a difficult conversation with someone who works with you, for you, in another
Mhm.
department. I mean, remember when we were at our company, our prior company, we had programs and we had many difficult conversations trying to explain why products couldn't get where at this time on this day.
Right,
And even
exactly.
today, if you think about all the tariffs that, we did a tariff chaos series, I'm sure there's 20 difficult conversations in there, right? So you
Excellent.
can
Yep.
use
And
our acronym.
maybe if we frame it where we're using the acronym, so the GGCC, and just for everyone following along, we didn't want you to go blind remembering the GGCC. We're going to completely move into the script. What we are going to do is kind of ad lib at the beginning, a recap of Renee serving as the pitcher, or I'm sorry, I'm serving as the catcher, and Renee is serving as the pitcher. Is that right, Renee?
That's correct.
Okay. And we'll kind of ad lib and share with you what the G stands for or the C stands for before we ad lib. So there'll be a little bit of commentary at the beginning before we actually get to the script, but you'll get the gist of it.
Yes. Okay. So let's start out. I'm the pitcher. I think I'm Clayton Kershaw. He just retired, Los Angeles Dodgers. But anyway, the first one is the greeting, like we talked about. And again, this is like we're gonna talk about getting a raise. So and Julie's my boss.
That's
Imagine
funny.
that. That happened before.
Imagine that.
No. Thank you. So what I'm gonna tell Julie is, hey Julie, thank you for making the time or taking the time to meet with me. That's
Okay, and
all. That's the greeting.
pick up with my first G, which is gratitude. So, from my perspective, I'm going to share with Renee. Renee, I appreciate having this discussion with you on Zoom. I think it's really important that we pause and take a moment for whatever concerns you might have.
Perfect. So those are our first simple G's, two G's. Now the second G, groundwork, is where we're going to help and paint the picture. We're going to acknowledge that we need their help. So I might say, let me make sure I have it. Hey, Julie, I need your help with this conversation. It makes me a little nervous. I've been working overtime. I've been managing multiple projects and completing work above my assigned level. So now
Mhm.
I'm just stating to Julie, the groundwork. Hey, this is why we're here, right?
And then I'm going to respond with my G for gravity that essentially talks about, look, Renee, I know we can find a solution together. I've noticed actually that you have been meeting your objectives with colleagues that are at a higher level. I've really noticed that you were able to meet these deliverables and really interested to kind of discuss that more with you.
Awesome. All right. And so then we move into the pitcher. I'm the pitcher. The first C, which is be direct and state my concern. This is where I'm actually going to tell Julie, hey, I want a raise, but I'm going to say it. I'm going to say it directly
Give
and
me more
nice,
money.
Yeah, give me more money. Where's the more money? Okay. I'm concerned that my salary is not at my level for my current work, Julie. I would like to discuss opportunities to increase my compensation. How can I assist you with this? What do you need from me?
Okay, so this, I'm going to move into my response, which is to clarify and commit. Those are my C's. And I'm going to start with basically a clarifying question. So, Renee, what I hear you saying is that your main point is that you're performing work above your current level. Is that great? Is that your thought?
Yes. Yes.
Okay, so here is what I can do. I can open up an HR case to kind of start laying that groundwork that the level that you're at and the level that you're operating at and the requirements for the role have shifted. But I need help from you to kind of work in the framework that HR created with their criteria at this level. And then we would want to fill out together how that criteria matches with your current operating behaviors. Would you be willing to work on that with me?
Of course. That would be awesome. Thank you. And then I'm going to go for my first, my second C, which is the closing, and I'm going to ask a question in a statement. So what I would say to Julie is, "Hey, Julie, thank you so much. Please send me the HR criteria. I'm going to review it, look at my behaviors against the criteria, and start to form the justification. I'll set up a meeting for us, and then both you and I can review and edit the criteria. But hey, can you help me understand the timeline? When do you think we'll get this? Have a solution to this?"
Hmm. And then I'm going to respond with my last C, which is to comply, my closing, which is I'm going to either comply with the request, consider it, or flat out reject it. So I'm going to say something like, Renee, I absolutely agree with the steps that you'll take, and I will send you the criteria after this call. But as far as timeline, I know that we need to meet first, maybe give our few weeks for that. And then I'm going to have to take that away to HR and kind of understand the temperature of the company for these promotions. Sometimes there's timelines that are committed. But once I meet with them, I'll have a better idea. And maybe it's okay if we kind of discuss this in our one-on-ones going forward, so that we can keep each other updated on the status. But I'm very supportive of your quest here. I'm very appreciative of the work that you do for the company, and I really don't want to lose you as an employee. So I want to figure out what the way forward is on this, and I know that we can come to something that's agreeable from both of our ends.
Sounds like I'm getting a raise.
Ah.
So, okay, Jewel, awesome. So, hopefully everybody is, understands our acronym GGCC. It's the same for the pitcher and the catcher. And you looked at our FIOs, but what about this role play episode? What would our FIO be for this,
Hmm.
Jewel?
So this one, I think that we want the listeners to kind of review a difficult discussion that they've been either putting off, and we think it's a good idea to role play it. What was very interesting when Renee and I were putting the acronyms together so that you could remember how to difficult discussions in a very simple way, and then we went through our own difficult discussion. It was really interesting how we modified the wording back at nope, we don't want that to be the perception. So we like the idea of you role playing with someone, and maybe they're the catcher and they're unsolicited, or maybe you're the catcher and you want to practice your managerial response. You could do it either way, but what are those difficult discussions, and role play it, write it down. What could be the response? What could be the realm of response? And the other thing I want to share is while Renee and I had a really good discussion that went really well on raises, sometimes companies have cycles that they go through. It's important to understand also what those cycles are, so you're asking on a reasonable cycle time frame. There's also generally there's many ways to ask for a raise. We picked the one that talks about elevating the position, because if you elevate the role, a raise generally comes. But there's also other ways to ask for a discussion of just, I think I need an equity review, or things of that nature. So we only pronged out like one example for you all, and happy to continue the discussion in the community from there on, and where perhaps folks have been successful in our examples
Yeah,
of our.
awesome. Thank you for bringing up the community, Jewel. Yeah,
Mhm.
that's awesome. And you know what? Like Julie said, the role playing was very enlightening for us. So That's a great recommendation. Great FIO. All right. Well, we'll see you guys on the next run. Thank you.
Excellent.